Welcome back to episode 50. So a quick recap to where I'm at. I've run the engine in and it's in need of a proper tune-up. Part of the struggle has been finding someone to do it, and to be honest, I'm sort of still looking. Before I can take it anywhere, I need to check the valve clearances, change the oil and filter and fix a petrol leak. Valve clearances is something that I've never done before, and I'm pretty sure I've never seen it done either, but fortunately I've got some guidance. Paul Jeffries built the engine, and in an ideal world, if he lived close enough, I'm sure he'd pop round to check the clearances for me. But as he lives a fair distance away, he's kindly WhatsApped me to help guide me through the process. Now I'm sure, like most things mini related, there's different ways to approach this. And even though I'm being guided through this, the guidance is remote and some things you just have to have a feel for, and that only comes with experience. So there's every chance that I may do something wrong, and that's why I always stress that these aren't instructional videos, but the videos do give an insight of what's involved in the maintenance of a Mini. Initial wear and tear can have an effect on tolerances, and that can cause clearances to change. It's easy enough to check the clearances by removing the rocker cover and checking with feeler gauges. To open and close the valves, I'll be rocking the car backwards and forwards whilst it's in gear. So to help make that process easier, I'll remove the spark plugs to help reduce the compression build-up. The plugs aren't an ideal colour, but hopefully they'll look better once the engine's been tuned properly. Before I got these roller rockers from MED, I just had a standard set of rockers fitted. I'm not sure if the adjustment process is the same or not, but I'm guessing it must be similar. But Paul did mention to swipe the feelers side to side on the roller rockers rather than front to back, as the rollers themselves tend to guide the feelers through, so it's hard to get a proper feel for it. To make adjustment to the clearances on these, there's a lock nut which has to be loosened first, then you insert an Allen key, turn it to the desired spot and nip up the lock nut. It sort of sounds simple, and to some extent it is. There's a system to follow to adjust the clearances. I think Paul called it the rule of 9, but I could be wrong. But basically, there's 8 clearances to adjust as there are 8 valves. The inlet and exhaust valves have specific clearance values, which I was able to check with a set of feeler gauges. It's better to consult a Hange manual rather than me pretend to know what I'm doing and offer advice on this video. But using this rule of 9, when valve number 1 was operating in a specific way and the rocker was at its lowest, I was checking and making adjustments at valve number 8, as 9 minus 1 makes 8. Likewise, when rocker number 2 was at its lowest, I was checking the clearance on valve 7. I guess I'll only know if I've done things right when I go to start the car up next, but Paul seemed happy with the adjustments that I'd made. I think I ended up adjusting just 3 of the clearances, and adjustment was only very minuscule. Anyway, the actual process for a confident person is probably literally only 10 to 20 minutes. For me it was a little longer, and even the GoPro got bored, overheated and switched itself off, so filming had to stop until it cooled down again. I've had a few issues with the roller rockers catching the rocker cover, so while it's off, I've decided to remove a little bit of the metal from inside the cover, and hopefully this will prevent the roller rockers from catching when I put it back on. I'm also going to try using one of those silicone gaskets and see if it works better than the cork one which was leaking. If things go wrong though, I'll just swap it back to the cork gasket. The plugs were a little sooted and a couple of the gaps look questionable. I think I must have bent them too far when I last took them out. So I've adjusted them all, cleaned them up and put them back in. Next job is the oil change. I've heard it's better to warm the engine up first, so with everything back on the engine I'll run it for a few minutes and then look to remove the sump plug, drain the oil, fit a new oil filter, fit a new plug and washer and then put some fresh oil back in. With those jobs complete, next job is to sort out the fuel pipe which is leaking and fit a new air filter. I've opted for the MED stub stack, and I'll do that as a separate video for episode 51 as I've run out of memory on the camera, but I'm hoping it'll help the engine run a little bit better, and also it should make tuning the car a bit easier too.